Good morning. At the Universalist Unitarian Church of Farmington, every day, in every way, we bid you welcome. In this community of radical inclusion, we make space for what you believe, who you are, what you love, and who you love. Your whole self is welcome here. My name is Beverly Church, and I am your service leader today. My pronouns are she and her. Thank you for spending your Sunday morning with us, whether you're enjoying the service in person or online. And I'd like to extend a special welcome to any visitors today. We're so glad you've joined us. We have several announcements to share. First, we'll be participating in the Farmington Founders Festival Parade again this year. The parade will take place on Saturday, July 18th, along Grand River Avenue in downtown Farmington. Friends of UUCF are more than welcome to walk, and please RSVP to Hope Sorensen, and additional information is in the e-blast. And I'd like to invite up Marie Lowry, who has an announcement.
But not a ladder. Good morning, Marie Lowry, Social Justice Committee. Last year, for a service Sunday, I believe in August, we did birth kits with the Global Health Initiative. We had a great time. We did a lot of really good work. Excuse me, and there was a request that we do that again this year. So that's what we're doing next month. We're going to be doing those birth kits again. But in order to pay for them, they ask that we pay for the birth kits that we make. It costs about $10 per kit to make them and ship them to wherever they're going in the world. So for today's Caring Sunday, we're asking that you donate to that cause, and that will go to the number of birth kits that we can make next month. You should have gotten an envelope on the way in. You can put cash or check in the envelope, as always, and there's a QR code on the front, and that QR code does actually go to our specific account with them for those kits. Thank you.
I'd also like to invite up Barb Eglinton.
Good morning. This year, again, we are participating in the Farmington Cares Duck Race. Cares is an organization within Farmington Hills that services people, low income, people that need help getting food, with food insecurity. So every ticket that we sell, these are $5 a piece. Some of you were given them and we took them back. So we'll be selling them for the next 3 weeks. The race is on August 5th at 3 o'clock. And what happens is if you buy a ticket, then you get a duck that gets put into the river by Rouge River, I think it is, at Shiawassee Park. And then all the ducks float down the river, and whoever wins, there are some great prizes. The first prize is free groceries from Bush's for a year. So, and then there's second, third, and I won't tell you about all those prizes. But you can buy these tickets, and $1 of the ticket comes to our church. $4 goes to Cares. You cannot put a motor on the duck. Always looking for an angle, Gloria. No. So we'll be here for the next 3 weeks. We're taking cash only. The more you buy, you get a discounted rate. So we'll tell you what that is in coffee hour. Thanks.
I have a couple of additional announcements. As you may have heard, ICE has dramatically increased their activity in the past few weeks. People in affected communities desperately need our help, and making whistle kits is a fun, easy way to make an impact. Please join us at 7 p.m. on July 19th to work on these kits and talk about other ways that we can help. And next week, we'll be having a social Sunday. In lieu of service, please join us in Adams Hall for puzzles and games. Please take a moment now to silence your digital devices and bring your attention to this time together. We begin service by lighting the chalice, which is the symbol of the faith that we share, with the words from our mission statement. Please join me in reading our mission statement in unison. We seek answers everywhere, include everyone, and live with compassion. Please rise as you're willing and able to join us in singing hymn number 38, Morning Has Broken. Through the sharing of joys and sorrows, we make space every Sunday for authentic, vulnerable sharing, which helps to build this congregation into beloved community. You are invited to share what's going on in your life, to name your feelings and the people in your heart in need of prayer, good energy, best wishes, and other help. You are welcome to come and pick up a stone here or stones from the table, infuse or charge it with your joy and sorrow, and place it in the singing bowl where its energy will ripple out to be held by all of us. If you'd like to verbally share something important on your heart, please come up and speak directly into the microphone here. All are welcome to participate in any of these ways. I have a couple of things I would like to share. One joy is that we light 3 candles for the intention that rest in the silent sanctuary of our hearts, one for the joys, one for the sorrows, and one for the strength of the gathered community that can support you and bring you peace. Today's reading is the poem In the Green Mountains by Jessie Bell Rittenhouse. I dare not look away from beauty such as this, lest while my glance should stray, some loveliness I miss. The trees might choose to print their shadow on the lake. The windless air might glint with aspen leaves that shake. Over the mountains there, a thin blue veil might drift. Then in a moment rare, this thin blue veil might lift. Ah, I must pay good heed to beauty such as this, lest in some hour of need, the loveliness I miss. You are now invited to participate in the blessing of giving as the ushers come among you to accept the gifts of the congregation. You may also give to UUCF online via the QR code on the back of the order of service. The morning offering will now be gratefully received. Please join me in reciting the offertory blessing. To the work of creating beloved community within and beyond these walls, we dedicate ourselves and our offerings. Today we welcome a guest speaker. Miranda Davis is a conservation biologist currently working as a naturalist and outdoor educator for Heritage Park in Farmington Hills. They've worked to make faith spaces accessible to LGBTQ+ youth, and they volunteer with initiatives to facilitate spiritual connections with our local environment. Please welcome Miranda.
Hi, I just wanted to say first and foremost, thank you so much for having me here. I was chatting with Bev earlier. I grew up in the Universalist Unitarian Church in Southfield. My uncle now is the minister for the Universalist Unitarian Church in Flint. I have a huge connection to this community, and it's really nice to be back within the four walls of a church and experiencing a congregation again. What I am here to talk about today is an amalgamation of several different concepts. First and foremost, I think that the connection that we as people having with the environment is one of the deepest spiritual connections that you can have with the earth around you. And that doesn't mean knowing anything about the environment around you. It doesn't mean being a biologist like myself. It's just going outside and looking deeply and feeling deeply and letting yourself experience what comes naturally to you. Before we head down into the lower level where I have like some more hands-on activities, and I'd like to take us outside as well for part of this. I am also interested, just because we have this microphone out here, if anybody is interested in sharing some ways that they enjoy the outdoors and how they've already, how they've already experienced maybe not even necessarily spirituality, but just some level of feeling more human by being outdoors. And that's okay if nobody has anything. Henry.
Snakes again.
And he was sharing there are snakes in front of your church, apparently.
Might as well, we'll kick us off to continue. Every morning, I do work from home, but I make it a point as just a centering activity is that I go outside and look towards where the sun should be rising, if it's not already up, and just give a thanks and listen for the birds, and it just gets me going so I can get back inside and do what I need to do. So it's
I've always felt a connection to large bodies of water. I grew up in Port Huron, so I'm used to a lake, meaning something you can't see the other side of. And I have a lot of memories of, as a kid, and going to see and enjoy and experience what it is like to be at the beach and these amazing Great Lakes that we have.
That's a weird sound. I really like playing in the woods. Same thing as Matt and Henry, and I also like the trees.
There we go. I have the fortune to work outside and as a wetland delineator, so I actually have to have a different problem where sometimes all I see are all the vines that are stopping me from moving, all of the thorns that are tearing me up. But I always take a moment, whenever there is a snake especially, or a frog, or a fawn that I happen to scare up. You know, I just like take those moments to remind myself, oh my gosh, like I get to be out here and witnessing. So for me, it's the small animals that I get to see every day that keep me grounded.
We have an acre, and I love the gardening. We have a fish pond. I love watching nature. We took care of an injured possum once. That was so cool. And we take daily walks, so I love it.
What a surprise. I love birds, as you can see. Also, tying in with Sarah, not just looking at nature, but listening to it. The thing I look forward to every single year, and it won't come until March, spring peepers, American toads calling in May. The wood frogs are calling now. The green frogs are starting in. So to go out in my garden and to hear all these things going on is terrific. And cicadas, of course, those are coming up too. So what's noise to some people is just music to my ears.
I had the great fortune to spend most of my childhood outside because I was homeschooled, and I count that as one of the greatest blessings of my life, be outside during the day. I find that it's really calming to be outside with the wind blowing on my face. It kind of calms the thoughts that are always going on in my head. I love trees, and it's really beautiful.
I also, I grew up outside of church, but my dad always took me on walks on Sundays, and he would tell me that nature was his church, and he would always say, like, him and nature were tight, and he knew, like, he'd be like, it's not gonna rain today because I'm going to the water park. We're cool. And, so I always thought of nature as like this big spiritual idea. So I always like looking at the sky too. It's very it's unique and different every day. It reminds me that every day is unique and different. And then I love bugs. I have this one iridescent black wasp that's a solitary wasp, and she's really friendly, and she hangs out with me in my shed. And I see her every time I go into the shed, and I'm like, hey, Sally. And we hang out, and I don't tell my husband about Sally because he doesn't like bees.
One of the things I love when I'm outside, but also inside, are my 5 wind chimes. In fact, 2 of them, and they all have special meaning, each one. And 2 of them I leave up year-round just because I can't do without them.
I think this will work. It's the park where Miranda works as my second home, and I have basically grown up outdoors whenever I could get there. And as a kid, which was a long time ago, when it was really very safe to walk in the woods and just feel safety in the woods and discover all kinds of things. And my parents didn't worry about us, my brother and my sister and I, and we would just walk in the woods and see the trillium in the spring and listen to the frogs. And there was a swamp nearby, and in the swamp, we would hear one tree rubbing against another. It was wonderful. So I had a good way to grow up and live near a lake so that we could swim, and you could see actual clams in the lake, freshwater clams. So I have a lot of good memories about that.
That is a weird sound. So being here in these woods helps me put things in perspective. I do some of the trail maintenance and being surrounded by these like 100-foot tall giant entities, these living things that are so different from myself, just dripping with vines, that if we stop clearing them for like a year, we'll just take back over everything. And it puts the world in perspective that if we are suddenly gone, they are still here and just sort of covering the world, and that they're just something we've pushed back. And so that's always a neat perspective to hit yourself with when you're stuck in the day-to-day.
Hey, in my last job, I was fortunate to spend a large amount of time outside. And, just being out there, it's easy to have an out-of-body experience and kind of realize how unimportant all the, stressors and things going on in your life are. Because, there's so much life out there. There's birds chirping. There's so many things going on outside of yourself that you just realize that some things that might seem like a big deal really aren't that important.
We've always had tall trees at our home, and it's kind of insane because the maintenance is so costly, and just keeping wood off the ground is tedious. At our place up north, we've also got a wooded lot, and I'm always picking up sticks, and we're on Lake Huron, so we have tons of sandstone fossils, petoskes, and all kinds of rocks that I become a fanatic about. But also in our yard, in July, we start getting mushrooms. I'm always picking up sticks, which makes you look at the ground too much. And I get the mushrooms and the fungus that come up. I've been taking pictures because somebody will eat them or the lawnmower will get them. But I've got purple and oranges and so many different shapes. They're like wildflowers that I've just become amazed with.
Thank you, everybody, so much for sharing different ways that you've experienced the outdoors. I like hearing about it from other people, because I could talk at you and tell you all of the wonderful ways that you can experience the outdoors and enjoy nature. But at the end of the day, you guys know yourself best, and I like to hear it from others because there's always a different sensory experience that you're going to be having outside. You can use every single one of your senses at any point outdoors. There were sounds and the feeling of wind on your face, and when we were walking around earlier, we smelled something dead outside, which isn't great, but there are also pretty wildflowers. For me, I'm very lucky to have a raspberry bush in the back of my house, and they last about 2.5 days, and it's the best 2.5 days of the summer because I'm out there just eating them all. So there are so many ways that you can experience yourself and your life and the outdoors, and it can become something spiritual. It doesn't have to be. I am a scientist at heart, and I have a science brain. And when I look at the trees, when you stare up and you see the branches coming out towards the sky, and they look almost identical to the bronchi in our lungs, you can think, for me, I'm like, well, evolutionary benefit of tubes. It's somewhere along the line, we've decided that tubes are a good way to transfer things from one way to another. But you can also say it happens because God thinks it looks pretty. And I think that is the two things that I really want to talk about today and drive the point home. You don't have to know anything. You don't have to understand anything about the nature around you to enjoy it and for it to mean something to you. And especially for the young minds in the crowd, you guys are the future. You are the future of our environment, and learning to appreciate and live in reciprocity with that environment is going to change the world for us old folk. So I think that is about all of the talking at you I have for the day. If we're interested in moving down to our, I don't know what you call that area down there. Adams Hall, I have some things set up for a more hands-on activity to explore. Is that a question, Henry? No, I'm not that old. I'm not that old. You're right. But I'm definitely older than you guys, so. Okay.
Do we need to just, okay, all right. Okay, that concludes our service. Thank you.